Ursa Major is located in the second quadrant of the northern hemisphere and can be seen at latitudes between 90 degrees north and 30 degrees east. It's best visible around 9 p.m. in the month of April. It contains approximately 20 stars and has 7 Messier objects located within it. Ursa Major is also known as the Great Bear in the Sky. This dates back to a Greek myth in which Nemoth Costello, a servant of the hunter of Artemis, was made by Zeus to bear a child. After learning of this, Artemis banished Costello for impurity, and soon after Artemis gave birth to the child and named him Arcas. This made Hera, the wife of Zeus, very angry and hungry for revenge. To punish Costello, Hera turned her into a bear. Costello then ran away into the forest and remained there for many years. Meanwhile, Arcas grew up to become a skilled hunter, and one day while hunting, the bear Costello heard his voice and rushed to greet her long-lost son. Arcas, not knowing that the bear was his mother, was about to kill her when Zeus intervened and sent both mother and son into the sky as the greater and lesser bears, now known as Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. It can be seen that these so-called bears in the sky have particularly long tails. It is said that the way Zeus got the bears into the sky was by grabbing them by their tails and swinging them around over his head and finally flinging them into the sky, and that is why these two bears have long tails. The tail of Arcas makes up the most important part of Ursa Major, known as the Big Dipper. The Big Dipper is an asterism in the constellation. An asterism is a group of stars that make a pattern in the night sky. Alkaid is the far left star of the Big Dipper. It is 103 light-years away. It has an apparent magnitude of about 1.84. Its stellar classification is a B3V. Of the stars in the Big Dipper, it is the most massive, being about 6 times the mass of our Sun. It is also the hottest star in the Big Dipper, being about 16,823 Kelvin. Next is Alcor and Mizar. With the naked eye, most people cannot tell that these are actually 2 stars instead of 1. Mizar and Alcor actually make up a binary star system. The 2 stars are only 1.1 light-years apart, and the system is 82.8 light-years away from us. Mizar has an apparent magnitude of 2.06 and has a stellar classification of A1V. It has a temperature ranging from 7,500 to 9,000 Kelvin and has a mass of about 2.5 times the size of our Sun. Alcor has an apparent magnitude of 3.99, so it is overshadowed by Mizar. Alcor has a stellar classification of A5V. It has a temperature of about 8,000 Kelvin and is about 1.8 times the mass of our Sun. Next is Alioth. Alioth is about 81 light-years away. It is the brightest of the stars in the Big Dipper with an apparent magnitude of 1.77. Its stellar classification is A0P. It has a mass almost 3 times the mass of our Sun and has a temperature of about 10,800 Kelvin. Megrez is both the smallest and closest star in the Big Dipper. It is 58.4 light-years away and is only 1.4 times the mass of our Sun. It has an apparent magnitude of 3.3 and has a stellar classification of A3V. It has a temperature of about 9,500 Kelvin. Dubhe is 123 light-years away and has an apparent magnitude of 1.79. Its stellar classification is F0V. It is about 4 times the mass of our Sun and has a temperature of 4,600 Kelvin. Merak is about 79.7 light years away and has an apparent magnitude of 2.37. Its stellar classification is A1V. It has a temperature of about 9,225 Kelvin and is about 3 times the mass of our Sun. Lastly is Vecta. It is about 83.2 light years away and has an apparent magnitude of 2.44. Its stellar classification is AOVE and has a temperature of about 9,355 Kelvin. It is about 2.5 times the mass of our Sun. Another attraction in Ursa Major is Owl Nebula, also known as Messier Object 97 or NGC 3587. It was found in 1781 by Pierre Méchain. The nebula formed about 6,000 years ago and is located 2,600 light years away from Earth towards the bottom of the Big Dipper Bowl. It has an apparent magnitude of 9.9 and a surface temperature of 110,000 degrees Kelvin and is about the size of Earth. With Ursa Major being one of the most popular constellations in the sky, it has had many pop cultural influences, such as a theatrical company called Ursa Major that has had over 200 productions, and Third Eye Blind's hit CD, Ursa Major.
The Milky Way is actually a spiral galaxy, and our own Sun is just one of 100 billion stars in it. At this immense scale, 23 powers of 10, each shining light we see is not a star, but an entire galaxy composed of countless stars.